Traction's really good actually. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the all-new 2021 Ford F-150 XLT with the Sport package. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Schmidler Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with the XLT. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. So under the hood of the XLT, we have a twin-turbo 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town, and then 23 on the highway, with power outputs being 400 horsepower and then 500 pound-feet of torque. Go over the front end of this XLT Sport package. So first and foremost, you've got Ford's new signature hood, which kind of just waves all over the place. You guys have heard me talk about it a million times. The Sport package does change the grille a little bit. So you guys can see, obviously you've got the body color. You can see the grille is just a little bit darker, but still you've got kind of like that darker theme with the overall front end because it's a Sport package. Full LED lights, and you guys can really see it prominently how the light comes down into the fog light area, which looks really cool. Tow hooks there at the bottom, body colored bumpers, again part of the Sport package right here. But yeah, other than that, that is the front end on the Sport. Now coming on the side here, we've got two 75mm tires on 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. I really like the design on these wheels. They kind of have like an off-road type look, and I love how they're blacked out in the center. And then here's a quick look at the front suspension here on the XLT, and then you guys can see they kind of mold the bodywork here around to make it look like it has fender flares even though it doesn't. And you got the really cool F-150 XLT venting right there on the side. Notice all black mirrors, black side steps as well, also part of the, well, Sport package. You guys can see that there on the back. But other than that, here is your full side view on the Sport. Now let's go over the bed of the XLT Sport. So you guys can see, again, you've got the little rulers here on the back with the covering, and then you still get the power outlet and the LED bed lights here in the back. Bed liner is not standard, but you can get it as an option. And then you can see LED lights there for the cargo lights. If you guys are wondering, payload capacity is just a hair under 1,800 pounds. So it's actually got a really solid payload. Ooh! Now let's go over the rest of the rear of the XLT. So you guys can see the lights here with the rear. Notice that as I approached it, all the lights popped on, which is a pretty cool feature with the truck. Parking sensors all along the back, and we've got another little light here on the tailgate as well. Towing capacity is about 8,200 pounds with the truck, and other than that, that is everything for the back end. So enjoy the back end. Here's the door panel on the back of the XLT. So you guys can see you've got soft touch here on the side of the door handle, and they've got this cool like material with the stitching at the top portion, and the trim here even looks nice as well. And then you've got the dark gray trim here with the door handle, and then here are the seats. Again, the XLT, right, you're kind of like the middle of the line trim, so you still get cloth seats in the XLT, but the cloth definitely is really nice actually to touch. And then you guys can see storage space just underneath, and let's actually pop in so that I can get out of the snow for a second. So stepping back here, stepping height is pretty good. You guys are running, I'm 5'11", got a good amount of headroom and legroom. Got a couple cup holders right here. You can see you've got a little 12 volt, and then down there you can see full power outlet, all that kind of stuff, getting more of that dark gray trim. And then as for the rest of the seat, there's no like pull down thing here with the cup holders or anything like that, but that is the back of the XLT. Here's the door panel at the front of the XLT. Again, you can see soft touch all along the door panel, and again, you've got more of that really cool trim with the stitching. And then hopefully you guys can see the design here on the camera. Hopefully that's coming through. Just looks really cool right there. All of your regular window controls, the door lock and unlock. And then here are the seats at the front. Again, full cloth. You got the nice bolsters here on the side of the seat. Power adjustments just down below. And then you guys can see the pedal layout in that little area. And then you got the power adjustable pedals right here, the parking brake, light controls just above, the mirror lights on either side. And then that is just your tailgate drop down. But there's one more look before we pop in. Quickly before we go over the steering wheel, I do want to show you guys a cool animation when we shut off the truck. So you guys saw the startup animation? I don't know, I think the animation looks pretty cool, how it shows you the F-150 with the LED lights. Now obviously if you didn't get the LED lights, it wouldn't be as cool because you'd feel bad about an option you didn't get. But anyways, you guys can see the steering wheel. I've got the stitching there on the center. all your controls for the center stack here, your phone controls, and then you've got your controls for the radio, volume control on the other side, cruise control over here on this side, and other than that, pretty simple with the steering wheel. And last thing behind it, you got little stock for the windshield wiper, and that's all. So you can see here you've got the center stack, you've got analog gauges for the RPMs and for the speed. Some people complained in my Platinum review that there was too much screen. Well, this is like in between, right? You don't have all analog, but then you don't have all screen either. So if that's kind of what you want, is a little bit more of an analog setup, then this definitely has that look for you. But you guys can see you can still have all the same options that you guys saw in my Platinum review in terms of all the different information that you can go through with the truck. And yes, this still does have the drive mode. So you got your normal mode, and then you've got your tow haul mode, and then you've got the eco mode, and then you got the sport. And notice this is super similar to Explorer. Anyways, still looks cool. And then you got the slippery, and then you guys can see all the other modes, the deep stands in snow, and then the mud and the ruts. Pretty straightforward. Look, I definitely enjoyed the animations the most on the Platinum, but I think these animations still look really cool with the center stack. Before we go over the center infotainment system, there's some buttons just up above it. You've got your auto stop start, that's to pop on the camera. Hazard lights right next to it. You've got your stability control right next to that. And if you guys are wondering, that's at the top portion of the infotainment system. Now, as for the infotainment system itself, first off, if we pop it into reverse, you guys see a backup camera will pop up. You've got trajectory lines that'll turn with the steering wheel. And then you do have the little zoom in function onto the receiver hitch. And this does have the parking sensors, if you guys remember. Now, yes, this does come with the big bad boy infotainment system. So obviously it's just a massive screen. It's got some cool stuff. So like you can go to the features, for example. You guys saw the lighting as we walked up to the truck. You can kind of change that. You can go into the towing stuff. You can like basically customize all that, which is pretty cool. And then over in the settings tab over here, again, you got all the normal stuff that you've had in the F-150 for a while. Still really good with the response time, but it's cool that you have like the menu on the side that you can go, okay, well, I want to go over to the next thing. You can just press it. And then also this does come with the navigation as well. So overall, really good infotainment system, and it's cool that you get the big infotainment system even in the XLT. Now, if we take a step back, we can see over here, we've got this for the trailer backup system, and then just down below, we've got our analog controls for the radio. You've got your analog controls for the climate system. You do get heated seats here in the XLT, and then trailer brake controls are integrated just right next to that. You've got our drive line select, so you've got your two-wheel high, your four-wheel high, your four-wheel low, and then the drive mode, you twist it, and then you've got the locker for the rear, so you just push that in for that little portion. And then over here, we can see you've got a little 12 volts. We've got a full power outlet as well, so just a lot of cool stuff happening in this area. You can see the whole center console area here with the XLT. Again, a couple of USBs, some storage space there, and then you've got a little phone holder as well. A couple of cup holders right next to it. And yes, even in the XLT, you can protect people's ribs. I mean, again, what more could you ask for in life? But anyways, this is the shifter for that 10-speed automatic. You can manually shift the gears yourself with those little buttons, and then you guys just functions like a normal shifter. Feels like you're doing something substantial when you do pop into gear, so that's something that I really like about this truck. And then you do have the manual shift function as well. And then we've got the rest of the center console, which is absolutely massive. It looks like the same center console as last time, honestly. Like the top looks different, but like the center console itself, it looks basically the same, like the inside portion. But anyways, got the glove box over here, so you press the button for that portion, and then you've got the drop down for the other portion. So nothing too crazy. I do like the trim on the glove box, and then I like the trim above the glove box. It may not feel the nicest, but it looks cool, and that's all that really matters about the dash, is that it looks cool, because it's not like you're touching it all the time. Top here, we've got our sunglass holder with the XLT, and then you do get a power sliding window for the back as well, and then we just have a traditional mirror up here, and then all black headliner, which goes with the sport theme. Now that we're done going with the interior on this XLT Sport, let's quickly get into pricing. So in terms of pricing, this sticker is for about $55,000 before any type of market adjustment, which has basically all the same tech as like the higher up packages, just not the same interior. And so this is actually a really good value. But that all being said, let's take this XLT out and see how she drives. Well, let's talk about visibility here in the XLT before we set off. So you guys can see visibility over the hood. Well, let's clear off the windows. Visibility of the hood's really good. And then you got your visibility through both of the mirrors. And I just like the look of the mirrors from a design standpoint. They just look pretty cool. And then here's all throughout the rear. Visibility in trucks in general is just always really solid. And that all being said, let's set off. So we are setting off here in the new XLT. And something that's pretty cool is obviously that auto hold feature, which will like hold the truck. So even when you're in a decline, you can just put that on and then you can take your foot off the brake. Just a nice little feature. But from a ride quality perspective, especially compared to the last generation F-150, it's so much smoother. A lot of people skipped out on this with my driving portion on like my Platinum review and then my comparison review between this, the Silverado, and then the Ram. This new platform drives so smooth. Like, it's a huge difference in departure from the last generation. This really does have that luxury truck feel now. Like, this is pretty much on the same level as Ram from a ride quality perspective. And again, I just think people need to hear that, because a lot of people just assume, oh, well, the Ram's gonna ride the smoothest. This Ford, it's definitely up there. And the noise insulation into the cabin as well, it's really solid. Again, it's on Ram's level, where it just has that luxury truck feel to it. But what we're going to do now is we're going to pop it over into the sport mode here for our little acceleration. Now, probably won't be able to go full throttle because, well, it's been snowing all day, but we can at least... Traction's really good, actually. Yeah, traction's actually really good in this sport mode. I'm surprised by that. Tons and tons of torque. I mean, 500 pound-feet of torque is absolutely insane for a half-ton truck. I mean, it's pretty much the same amount as what a Raptor has, and I can tell you right now, it is more than enough torque. It's just really solid in general. The turning radius on this truck is also really solid, and we'll get another little push here. Yeah, it doesn't slip at all. This traction control system's really good at just making sure this truck doesn't have a whole lot of drama, which is definitely nice. Obviously, trucks have lighter beds, but this truck does a really good job at mitigating everything. And that'll get me into summing things up with this new XLT. So first off, from an exterior design standpoint, I think this new XLT looks really good. I wish it had LED taillights, but I'm not really going to complain about that much because the taillights still look good. I just wish that they were LEDs, because then they'd look even better. From an interior perspective, this new interior is really well put together from a design standpoint. Obviously, this is the middle of the line truck, so it's not the nicest materials, but everything looks nice. Even though it's not like this right here, this doesn't feel nice to touch, but who cares? It's a dash. It at least has a really cool look to it. So from an interior perspective, I think it's huge. The infotainment system is absolutely awesome. It's cool they give you the nicer infotainment system even in this XLT package. And so just as like an overall package, I think this new XLT is a really good value. And you guys will see, I have a comparison video coming up between this and the older XLT. This is a huge step up. And this is the last thing I want to say. So I know a lot of people are dead set on, again, Ram being like the pinnacle of luxury, the pinnacle of this and that. Go and check out one of the new F-150s, drive it back to back with one of the new Rams, which you actually can do down here because there's a Ram dealership right next door to this Ford dealership. And then you're gonna probably be like, oh, it's a lot closer than you thought before. It's a lot harder decision than you thought before. This new F-150, I'm not partial to any brand, but this new F-150 is a lot nicer than people are giving it credit for. That's gonna sum things up with our video going over this 2021 Ford F-150 XLT with the sport package. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with the truck. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.